Hello everyone, we will continue the topic Web Dynpro ABAP, and in this video we will start with the various properties of layout elements. You all know we have the various properties like visible, invisible, enable, disable, read only. Depends upon the requirement from the customer. We need to make the layout elements visible, invisible, enable, disable, read only. So now we will go for all these properties. So firstly, we will understand the meaning of these properties, because especially in read only people have lots of confusions. So we'll firstly understand the meaning of the properties. Suppose I am saying visible is equal to true. It means whenever we are going for true, but the value we are passing capital X, because we all know X, capital X is true. If visible is true, it means that layout element is visible to us. Suppose if I'm saying visible is equal to false, suppose visible is equal to false. Whenever we are going for false, in that case, we are passing the value as space. You all know whenever we are going for false, we are passing the value space. If visible is false, it means that particular layout element is not visible. It is invisible. So it is important to understand visible true means it is visible. Visible false means that is invisible. It is not visible to us. Suppose now I will go for suppose enable. Suppose I will go for enable. If enable is equal to true, enable true means yes, that particular layout element is enable. Yes, I can put the entry into that layout element that is enable. We can put the entry that a layout element is enable for passing the entry. Suppose if I am passing enable property is equal to false. If enable is equal to false, in that case, we are passing the value space. If enable is false, yes, in that case, enable false means that layout element is not enable. It is disable. We cannot put the entry into that particular layout element. Now, suppose if I will go for read only. This is most important part. Suppose if I am saying read only is equal to true. In case of true, you are passing the value as capital X. Read only true means that layout element is in read only mode. Read only mode means what? We can only see. We cannot put anything there. If read only is equal to false, if read only is equal to false, in that case, it means we are passing the value to space. If read only is false, it means that is not in the read only mode. Yes, we can put the entry there. Especially in read only, people have lots of confusion. Just go by the word. If some property is true, it means that particular thing is applicable to that property. If read only is true, it means that layout element is in read only mode. We can only read. It means we cannot put the entry there. If read only is equal to false, it means that is not in the read only mode. We can put the entry there. So this is the meaning of all those properties. Now we will take a requirement and we will achieve the requirement, or we can say we will implement a property here. Suppose if I will go for the already developed Web Dynpro component. In the previous videos, we developed this sales order details. I'm running this Web Dynpro application. Suppose I will give some input. I will log on and I will give some input. Suppose I'm giving input, I'm clicking on to submit button and header data and item data is displayed. Now what customer is saying, whenever I'm running the application, at that time, I only want sales order number and submit button. Whenever I will click on to submit button, After that only these all things should visible to me. I will again repeat the requirement. What is the requirement? Whenever customer will run the application, customer only require sales document number and submit button. Whenever the customer will give the input or user will give the input and click onto the submit button, then we only need to display all these things. It means whenever we will run the application, all these things are invisible. Whenever we will click onto the submit button, these all things will become visible. This is our requirement. Now, if I will show you the application already developed, anyways, we will develop the same to same thing. If I will run the application, this is what we want. Whenever I will give the, you can see, whenever we run the application, sales document number and submit button is there. Whenever I will give the input and click on the submit button, you can see after that only this is visible. So we will simply go for visible property here, and same way we can go for other properties as well. And important, yes, projects work on these kinds of requirement only. They will say, yes, we want this visible, we want this invisible. So in that case, we will use all these properties. Now what we will do, I will make a copy of the already developed application. We already developed this application. When we develop this basic application in which we have the header data and item data, I will not touch this application. We will develop one more application, and in that application, we will simply go for the properties because our layout is same to same. If I will go here, our layout is same to same. Nothing is changed in terms of layout element. Our logic is same. Everything is same. So it's good that I can make a copy and we will go for the requirement. So what I will do, I will simply make a copy. So this is our Web Dynpro component. So here you will also learn how to make copy, and especially why I am making a copy, because here you will learn also that you can make the layout element up, down, you can move to first position. All these things you will learn into this particular video. So I will simply right click. I will go for copy. Now I will give the name of the copy. Suppose I will say Z sales order underscore details. Suppose I will write, suppose underscore, okay. Suppose I will go for underscore 2 because one already exists. I will go for okay. Suppose I will save this as a local object. Now you can see everything copied, but Web Dynpro application will not copy. Yes, you can see when I made a copy. Suppose if I will show you for what I made a copy. Suppose for this, I made a copy. So everything got copied, but application will not copy. We need to create an application for this Web Dynpro component. What is best way? Firstly, we will activate. So we'll simply go to display mode and we will activate. Now we will simply go to the layout. Okay. I'll just go to read only mode. Okay. I think it was in read-only mode itself. By mistake, I came to change mode. Now everything is in black color. Now I will go to the view. Now what we want. Here we will also learn one more layout element. If I will go for OK. Now this is our layout. I'll just wait. This is our layout. Whenever user will run the application, I only want sales order number, input and submit button. These all things, header data and item data, this table, this all things should be only be visible on the submit button. It means whenever user will run the application, I want to make all these things invisible. And on the submit button, I will make this as visible. Now, what is one thing? You can go to individual layout element and go for the visible property. Firstly, I'm just explaining. What you can do, you can go to individual layout element. Suppose if I will go for this label, you can see we have a visible property here. You can see we have a visible property. We will make it and we will make it visible or invisible depends upon the requirement. We'll set it to true or false depends upon the requirement. Same thing we will do for this. Same thing we will do for this. Same thing 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 for this. And same thing for this table. Now people will say how much tedious task it is. We need to go to individual layout element. We need to set the visible property to true or false depends upon the requirement. Now it is not the case. We have one shortcut also, and that shortcut is always preferable. What we will do, whenever user will run the application, we only want this and this. So what we will do, all these things we will put into one container. And for the container, we will set the visible property to true or false. If container visible property is true, it means whatever is in the container, it will be visible. If container visible property is false, it means whatever is in the container, it will not be visible to us. This is what people will do. Yes, do not go for individual property. This is very small layout. In the real projects, we have very big layouts. Then at that time, it will be very tedious task for you to go to individual layout element and setting the visible property to true or false. So what you can do, you can put all those layout elements into one container and set the property of the container. Now what we will do, we will now learn how to create container. Now we are learning another layout element, how to create a container. And in that container, we will put all these layout elements. So I will go to change mode and I will create a container. I will right click onto the container. I'll just make it on the left. I will just right click onto the container. Sorry, right click onto root UI element container, insert element. Now I will give some name to the container. Suppose I am saying sales underscore, I am writing TC. TC stands for transparent container. I am creating a transparent container. You can understand very well transparent container means it is a container, but it is transparent. Yes. I will go for transparent container. I will go for OK. But is best practice, always make it as matrix layout. So I'm simply changing this layout of transparent container to matrix layout. Now simple. Now here you will learn also, you can simply move the layout elements to up, down, first position. Now we will do all these things. Now I will make it to first position. Suppose I will move it to the first position. Now you can see this is the transparent container. Accept these three things. Accept these three things. Means sales order number, input of sales order number, and submit button. Accept these three things. I will put each and everything into this transparent container. So accept these three things. I will simply put all other things into this transparent container. So firstly, what I will do, I will simply drag and drop transparent container here after the submit button. Now it is after the submit button. Okay, I'll just make it a little bit up. Now it is after the submit button. Now into this with the help of mouse, you just need to drag and drop. It will be there. Now we need to move all these layout elements into this transparent container. How we will do? Drag, drop, drag, drop. Suppose I will simply go for this drop. Now it is in the transparent container. You can see it is in the transparent container. This is transparent container in the one by one. I am just moving it to transparent container. And it is a benefit also that I took the example of already developed application, because after copy, we are able to learn all these things. Now this is our output. Now you can see this is in the transparent container. This is in the transparent container. Now we are putting this, okay, num underscore out. Okay, it should be after this, num underscore label. Okay, num underscore out. Yes. Now we will see, okay, sales underscore table. Okay. Now into this transparent container, we have all these things. Now we will check. Layout might be here and there. We just check. This is your label. This is your label. This is your input field. This is our submit button. Now, transparent container should start from the new line. It means we'll simply firstly, okay, I'll just make it as matrix layout. And now we will take matrix head data, because it should start from the beginning of the new line. Now you can see, now we will simply change this label. Okay, it is your matrix head data. This is your matrix data. Okay, this label matrix head data, you all know it is fully explained. Yes, because I changed it to matrix layout, but I think by mistake it remained as floor layout. So when I change it to matrix layout, now we need to set. This is matrix data. Okay. num underscore label. It should be your matrix head data. Same thing is fully explained previously. Now you can see name is in the new line. This matrix data, okay. This VB type, it should be your matrix head data, because we want this in the new line. This is matrix data done. Now this table also we want in the new line. So it will be matrix head data. Now you can see everything is perfectly fine. Yes, whenever we will go for drag and drop at that time, some layouts will be here and there, but we need to adjust. Yes. Now you can see everything is in this transparent container, and we only need to set the value visible property of this transparent container. If we will set the visible property to false, it means this container will not be visible. If we will set the visible property to true, it means that container is visible. Very easy. So I will just go for save. I will activate up to this level. And now I will go for activation and we will go for summary. So what is the summary of this particular video? In this video, we started with the various properties of layout element. You all know we have the various property: visible, invisible, enable, disable, read only. It is important to understand. If you are passing true, then what is the meaning? If you are passing false, what is the meaning? Visible true means it is visible. Visible false means it is invisible. Enable true means it is unable. We can insert the data, we can pass the data. Enable false means it is disabled. You cannot do anything. Read only true means it is in read only mode. It is only we can only viewing purpose. We cannot do anything. If read only is false, it means it is not in the read only mode. We can just put the entry into that. After that, what we did, we took the requirement. What is the requirement? Whenever user will run the application, at that time we only require sales order number and input field. Whenever user will click on the submit button, after that only we want the header and item data. So what we did, I made a copy of the existing application, and intentionally I made a copy so that we can learn the new things. So our layout is same to same. Now, rather than going to individual layout element and setting the property, what is best way? Just make a container. In that container, take all the layout elements, whatever you want to do with those layout elements. So we studied how to create a transparent container. Make it as matrix layout. Whenever you will go for matrix layout, take the layout data as matrix head data for that transparent container. You can simply drag and drop already developed layout elements, and you need to set matrix data, matrix head data, because you are taking everything into the container. Then we need to set whatever we want at the starting of the new line, we will take it as matrix head data. Whatever we want in the continuation, we will take it as matrix data. Now, in the next video, what we will do, we will simply learn how to make this container visible and invisible depends upon the requirement. And again, in the next video, again, huge amount of learning will be there. So that's it in this video. Thank you.